Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohammad Zafir Shabazz. Welcome to workshop 3 of with Machine Learning Zero to Hero. Today we are going to visualize the data. Today we are still using the artificial generated data. We are not currently using the real world data scenario. By tomorrow we will use real world data. So today we're gonna visualize data using some libraries like Matplotlib and Seaborn. And what happened in these libraries and why they are important, because as I told you in the very first workshop that data visualization is the very integral part when it comes to exploring data. When you are observing data in tabular form, it's not such as good to see, to aspiring to your eyes, to आपको एक वो एफिनिटी नहीं नजर आएगी इन दैट डेटा जो आपको एफिनिटी बाय इन्फोग्राफिक्स में नजर आ जाएगी लाइक इफ डेटा इज बीइंग विजुअलाइज्ड इन सम सॉर्ट ऑफ पैटर्न लाइक पाई चार्ट बार चार्ट हिस्टोग्राम and there are multiple type of plots so you can know what type of data is it is आप उसकी नेचर को जान सकते हो you can know the nature of the data so from today I'm sharing my screen just hold on. I have also shared GitHub links to the WhatsApp groups, so you can play along the code. All right. And here is the content. Sending it live, and I hope my screen is clearly showable to you. All right. So closing my WhatsApp, it's very disturbing, and Discord as well for now. This, and coming back to this. Okay. So this is the workshop. I have already showed you this glimpse of this notebook, and now I have also shared this notebook with you. So this is our agenda. From we learn why data visualization is important in industries, and we will also try different type of plots using Python and different libraries. So what is data visualization? As I already tell you that data visualization is the simple presentation in pictorial or graphical format like if you have data in tabular form, multiple columns, you have multiple columns that are representing x-axis, and you have one column for the reference like your name, and it can be anything for y-axis. But what if there are so many data, like there are 100 values or 200 values or even 100,000 values? So when you can want to know the real point, the value of data, the nature of data, the affinity or the pattern of data, you usually visualize the data to know that how many outliers are there, what's the nature of data, or if is data skewed or not. We'll learn all these things, the qualities and attributes of data later in this workshop. So to understand and to explore the data, to analyze the data, data visualization is the most important thing. Even if you apply job, if you go for a data science job or machine learning job, there's nothing different. आपको data visualization आनी जरूरी है, because data visualization also plays role when you are checking your model कि आपका model data किस तरीके का है, and after applying machine learning model आपका data किस टाइप का बन रहा है, क्या है, मतलब there are multiple things कि आप एक data visualization के थ्रू मालूम कर सकते हैं. All right. Okay. Why data visualization? बता तो मैं चुका हूँ already कि human brain can process information easily when it's in graphical or pictorial format. Let's see. Let's just take an example कि मेरे पास एक tabular form में data है like this. मेरे पास एक tabular form में data आ गया है इतना सारा. Now I have to understand this data like this is information by loss by disaster. How much disaster is done by loss like freeze, wind, flood, and hails. So now I'm saying that how much a problem is created within some years. Understanding like this is a bit complicated when data is so huge. Here you can see it's like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and 40 years. What will you do when there are years in one binary, like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year? You cannot understand data by just looking at it, observing at it. You have to understand it, you have to plot it, you have to visualize it. So for visualization, this is where Matplotlib and Seaborn comes. Matplotlib is the basic the library of Python, which is highly interactive, animated, and it's a static library, and it's a very comprehensive as well, which is usually used for all sort of visualizations, and it's simple to use. There is one more library we will learn today is Seaborn. Seaborn is actually the combination of Matplotlib itself and pandas. Seaborn is used for such complicated plots where you are coding like 5 lines in Matplotlib. You don't need to code in Seaborn for 5 to 6 lines there. You can just code everything there in just a single line. We'll see that later. And one major thing more that Matplotlib is usually focused on 2D graphics, where Seaborn usually focus. People use Seaborn for multiple dimensions, where people focus on Matplotlib when there is simple figures or two-dimensional figures. All right. Okay. Before going further, wait. This is okay. Before going further, how many types of plots are there? There are infinite type of plots, but what plots are the major plots usually machine learning engineer or data scientists face in daily life, like scatter plots, step plots, bar chart, fill between, time series, box plot, histogram. Creating these plots by code on particular data is not such a difficult task. Everyone can do because code is entirely easy. You can understand code. You can even just by writing one-time code you can learn it. I never see internet what type of code is it because I already know how to plot bar chart, how to plot histogram, how to plot scatter plot. You don't even need to remember that because it's so simple. But when we have to use histogram, when we have to use box plot, when we have to use bar chart, and when we have to use pie chart, so these all charts are when we have to use these charts is the most major thing you should know. Like if we okay, how to install Matplotlib in your system? If you are working in your system not on Colab, so if you are working on a Jupyter or any sort of notebook, this is the way you install your library. I have already installed it, so but I am showing you just pip install Matplotlib and it is going to install in your. But if you are working on your system, you should open your command prompt and then or anything else, any terminals, any sort of terminal, and then write pip install matplotlib and it will install. All right. So and then it will create a matplotlib environment in your entire Python environment. Okay. Importing pyplot function as alias plt. Okay. So this is how you import matplotlib library. We have imported it. So you can import like this as well, and you can import like this as well. Import, sorry, import matplotlib lib.pyplot as plt. So now we have imported it. You will see both type of codes and both are absolutely fine. What is happening here that from matplotlib we are first importing library and then naming it as plt, and this is happening same that we are just importing pyplot of matplotlib as plt. Okay, plotting to our canvas. This is our simple data. Okay, I'm breaking it into X, Y for your ease. X, Y. Now, when you already know in 2D graph, there is an x-axis and there is a y-axis. In x-axis and y-axis, the relationship draws as particular to the reference. Like if x has 2 value and y has 1 value, so it will draw as such their relation. Like for example, I'm taking x as 4 values of x, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm taking y as 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay, so you can see the relationship is like it's multiplying by 2 in every single step, but that doesn't have to see here. Now, what type of graph is going to make happen there? What type of figure is going to make here? Let's see. So it's straight. Why? Because relationship was linear. You can see now at 4, when x is 4, the y is 8. When x is 5, y is 10. When x is 6, the y is 12. When x is 7, then y is 14. This is a very simple mathematics. We are currently using it here, but mathematics is involved in every instance of machine learning life. Otherwise, you are doomed. So, okay, now let's make it some sort of non-linear data. 14 and 11, and making it more weird, 38. Right, and we'll make it 2. Now, this is a simple plotting. You see that now to its corresponding 4 is 2. You can see here if my screen is clearly visible to you. 4 is correspondingly 2 here to the y, and 5 is correspondingly 14 to the y, and 6 to the 11, yes, and 7 to the 38. Yeah, so it's fine. So now what type of data it is, you can now know, not by observing huge amount of data. This is just 4 numbers, but what will happen when you are having multiple numbers? You cannot easily know what type of data is it. So now you know that this data is not non-linear. This data has very weird style. Before it was a linear, it was in a linear relationship. So now you know the nature, you know the affinity, you know the pattern of data, you know every type of attribute of data. This is the simple plotting you have done in Matplotlib. Okay, going further. Okay, let's add title and labels to your graph. Usually, when you are representing your data or your machine learning model, the performance of your model, you never show your code. You never show what code you are using, especially in freelancing as well. You never show your code, of course, because if you are showing your code directly to it, they can be hostile and steal your code and practice on their own. And now you are hopeless. No, they are not going to give you money. There are multiple scenarios. I faced multiple scenarios that even the orders with $300, $400. I grabbed some orders which were more than $1,000, but I share the code and then never get response from them. So this can happen very usually. So you never share code. What you share the performance of your code. And how you can show you the performance of your code is by telling them your accuracy, by showing the accuracy, by showing the correlation, showing the relationship. How these infographics, these figures tell those people how our models, how our code is performing so well. So not just this, we are not going to just show this graph. So making it much better, we are adding our titles and labels to our graph as well. So for example, this is our x values, and these are our y values, for example, and we are plotting it, of course. But before showing our plot, we have plot it in PLT, but we are not showing it until we write the code this plt.show. Now, what we are doing, we are adding title in PLT in that figure. We are adding title in that figure. Just playing around. This is the title of our figure. We can also write figure 1. So now the title of our figure will be figure 1. And this is our y-axis. You're gonna write plt.ylabel, and this you can write x-axis to plt.xlabel. So now it's fine. The code is working absolutely fine. Let's see. And yeah, title is figure 1, x-axis to the x-axis, y-axis to the y-axis. If we just want to remove this and remove this as well, and let's try. Working, it's absolutely working fine. All right, now adding some more styles to our graph. This is what we are gonna make it right now. Okay, so again, importing style function from Matplotlib. Previously we imported pyplot, which is used to make figures. Right now we have to add some sort of styles to a graph. It's just upon you, or if you want to make some data different from other, so you can also use styles for that. For example, if you are having multiple columns like column 1, column 2, and column 3, and all plots are going to mix in the same color, then for separation you can use different colors to represent different columns. So we're gonna see here, that thing there. Okay, from Matplotlib import style. So I'm using here as ggplot. ggplot is a kind of style which is used in very usual case. For example, there are multiple styles. What you have to do? Go on Matplotlib and styles. Now, just style sheet reference. Go to the style sheet reference. There are multiple styles. Now, what you like this one, like this one, like this one, and it depends on your data as well. Go and just search about it and implement that style in your data. I am currently using, and you will also find code as well for every single style. But you don't have to use code; you just have to use name because you are not going to work for, in backend. You are just have to work in this Python code. You are importing the library. I am using ggplot for reference. I am using that type of style. Now I have given x is equal to 10, 16, 20, and y is equal to 24, 32, and 12. Then I have imported another x2 is equal to 19, 12, 19, 24, and 20, 28, 18. Now, what I am trying to do, these two parallel information are not the parallel graphs. They are referencing on the same number. Now, what does that mean? If this number has a huge difference, like some numbers are in like 10 to 20, and another numbers are hugely far, like 200 to 400. So that doesn't make any sense if you are merging both same values on a same graph, because one graph is going to make like this tiny and other graph going to make like huge, bigger on that figure. So we are not going to make like that. So but these values are mostly similar, like all values are around from like 10 to 35 as far as I know. So now we can merge both values in a single graph. So I have separated one x by another, and another x and y on another place. Okay, what trying to do, I am now plotting x and y. Sorry. Now I am trying to plot x and y, and why it's not working. Okay, and this is our color code. You can search on the internet what are the color codes, like O for orange and B for blue. K is used for black. Don't use B for black. K is used for black. Y is used for yellow, and R is used for red. I have used here G, which is used for green, and I have used here C, which is used for can, and most people say cyan. So what does you do? So here I am giving label is equal to line 1, and here I am giving label is equal to line 2. Why I am doing this? Because when this figure is going to print, it's going to tell कि if there is green line, what green line represents? Green line represents line 1. What blue lines represent? Blue line represents line blue. If we change it like for an instance, if we change it like green, and if we change it like blue, and this is line width, we are changing line width of our data for just beautification. If you need to beautify your data, you can do it as much as you want. I'm showing how much you can customize your data. Like it's 4, I can make it 14. No, 14 is too. 14 is going to be weird. Just 3 and 5, just for making a difference. Okay, and title is all right. Title, just just like this. And okay, y-axis and x-axis, you already know that. And plt.legend is actually clearing the old figure, and this figure is clearing the old figure. And now plot.grid, what dot grid is doing, this is making grid in all graph. If you see the previous figure, the grid is by default. Now we are making color to our grid, like this black, this black, this black. We have mentioned yes to. If we make it false, so this grid gonna hide. I'm gonna show you, don't worry. And here I have mentioned RBGK. This only accept these 4 colors. The grids not accept all colors in Matplotlib, so don't try to mess it up. And if you are willing, you can mess it up. It doesn't bother me. And yeah, color is equal to K. I'm gonna run it. All right. So as you can see, we made line width is equal to 3 for green line. So here green is little thinner than the blue line. If it's currently not such fascinating for you for such differentiation in virtual workshop, so I'm making it 7. So now you can clearly see that blue line is highly broader than green line. See, blue line is highly broader than green line. Okay, now changing grids, grid color. I'm making it R for red. It's not looking so good. Making back to K means black. And what if we make it false? I have never tried. Let's see. Yeah. grids have been removed. In default figure, there are grids. If you see it more clearly, there are always grids, but these grids are in white color. But what if you don't even need the grids? You don't even want the grids. You can remove it by simply writing plt dot grids and write false in there. Usually, you won't need to write this code because that is not making figures so cool. We always need grids for some sort of reference and making again. All right, just make it true. All right. Now going further, now you know how to add some styles in it, and now what type of styles you can play with. You can change colors. There are many more things in Matplotlib library. Of course, I cannot cover everything in a single workshop, and you cannot digest every single thing in a single workshop as well. But this workshop or what you will learn today is highly enough for your entire industry life, or what you can say for next 4 to 5 years. All right, bar graph. Now we are moving towards the categories of plots. First category is bar graph, very simple. Code is very simple. You don't need to look at the code right now. You have to look at me, what I'm trying to say. Why we use bar chart? Think first question. कि बार चार्ट हम यूज क्यों कर रहे हैं? There are multiple charts, pie chart, histogram, as I mentioned in the very beginning of the workshop. What plot have to be used when is the first major question which is going to come in your mind. If you are not cleared right now, you can never be cleared in the future as well. So why we are using bar chart? Bar chart is only used for simple representation of x and y references or x or y axis. Like you have categorical data. If you are like there are three people, Ali, Hamza, and Maham. These three people are gonna have some certain grades, like numerical grades. Like someone is having 3 GPA, someone is having 2.8 GPA, and someone is having 3.7 GPA. So you can categorically define that Maham has this value, Hamza has this value, Ali has this value by showing the bar, the levels of their values. Even in the scenario of sound and music, you can see bar charts moving, but those are not the bar charts. Those are histogram. There is a huge misconception between histogram and a bar chart, which is I'm gonna try to remove that misconception regarding that. Okay, first just play around with the data, then I'll show you much more example. For example, one. All right, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2 has what type of value 2 was having? Okay, 2 was having 10. Okay, always remember I have not given here x and y, but you have to remember that if we are just passing list in here for my simplicity, I have mentioned here that x is this and y is this for my simplicity. So you have to remember this as 2 is corresponding to the first element of 10. First element of first list is representing to the first element of the second list. Okay, so 2 has 10, C4 has 4, 6 has 14, and yes, this is the same thing. Now you have to understand this is working, how this is working. But what if we want to apply the same example I am telling right now, like some names and some grades? Okay, so here I'm mentioning this is gonna take a few minutes only. 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. Sorry. Uh, Wait, 2.9, 3.7, 3.6, 2.5. I'm just currently including 4 type of GPA points, and now just take some marks, students, and in string. You can also include string in here. Okay, so first name is okay. Taking my name. Very poor GPA, but okay, no problem. And okay, any name here, and any name here, Stephen. Oh my God, Stephen. And here I'm gonna take name of Furqan. Okay, all right. So now I have take four names and four GPA points of the respective people. Assume there are four students, and like Huzafa is having 2.9, Ali is having 3.7, Stephen is having 3.6, and Furqan is having 2.5. I have to visualize it. Like, okay, now what is the X and what is the Y? This is the one of the major thing as well. Student make mistake. What is the major? What is Y and what is X? So remember, Y is always the continuous data and X is always the categorical data in bar chart. You can write in your notebook as well. This is very important. यहाँ पे हमारे पास हमेशा numerical data होगा जो continuous है. This vibe is going to be all continuous. Like it's going to be obvious. It's obvious that it's going to be a continuous numerical data. It's like if it's starting from zero, then it's going to end at 20, but it's continuous. But here below, these numbers are not continuous. These are categorical. I can mix up these numbers as well, like 2, 6, 4, 10, 14, then 3, then 20, then 1, because these are not numerical for it, these are just categorical for it. So always remember all. So here our students are the categorical values for us, and GPA is continuous data. Sorry, continuous data, and I hope this spelling is fine. Okay. And now I'm here mentioning X level as students, and here I'm mentioning it as okay GPA, and here I'm mentioning it as exam scores. All right, running it. Oh, so it's saying, oh, a great mistake. We didn't mention the GPA and students here. So yeah, students and GPA. Errors are the part of the life of developers. All right. So now you can see Zephyr scored 2.9, Ali scored 3.6, I guess. Okay, 3.7. Pretty good number, Ali. Stephen scored 3.6 marks GPA, and Furqan is scored 2.5 GPA. So these are categorical values you can use with string or any numerical data which is categorical. You're gonna use bar chart. Now write down in your notebooks or during make this digest this that whenever you are having any sort of categorical data, you are going to use bar charts. Whenever you are going to have continuous data on x-axis, you are going to use histogram. Now what does histogram does? See, we are having a list 20 which is having 21, 22. I don't know what is the minimum value in here. I guess the minimum value is 4. You can also find minimum value by writing min and x, but I can just see by observing this list. So 4 is our minimum value, and highest value is of course 100. I just write it randomly, and we are making it binary. Num bins 10. You can say bin as well. Don't make yourself confused. All right. So what I'm going to do right now. Now on x-axis the data is now continuous, and on y-axis the data is continuous as well. In bar chart, y-axis was also continuous as common, but x-axis was categorical. In here, the x-axis data is continuous as well. So how we're gonna see that what is y chart? You can see there is currently no y here. There is no y. Why? Because it's building y by itself. What we'll do? Wait. What we'll do that it will count that how many data in specific range reach to the target, like 0 to 20. We have make it 10 bins, so 0 to 20. How many times these numbers between 0 to 20 is going to come in this range? So there are total 6 numbers according to our graph which are coming between 0 to 20. There are total 4 numbers which are coming like 10 to 30. Wait, let me see. I have made 10 bins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah. Now what bin does, if I make it 5, for an example, So it will divide data in 5 partitions like 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, and 80 to 100. But if I'm going to divide if I'm making it 10, num base is equal to 10. So here it's dividing all continuous access data in 10 partitions, in 10 bins. Okay. So I was making a huge mistake. So, okay, in between 0 to 10, there are total 6 numbers. In between 10 to 20, there are total of 4 numbers. In between 20 to 30, there are around 2 numbers. There are in between 30 to 40, there are around 5 numbers. And if you see here, 50 to 60 and 60 to 70 are not having any particular number. 50 is being inclusive by this, I guess. So yeah, 50 is being inclusive by this bar. So 51 to 60 is not there is no number which is in the range of 51 to 60. And as you can see, yeah, there is no number which is in the range of 51 to 60, and neither the 61 to 70 as well. That is why both are blank, and neither as 81 to 90 as well. That is why this is also blank. So this is how you perform histogram. In here, you just simply write the code plot.hist or plt.hist. Previously, we write plt.var. Here, we just removing this type of syntax plt.hist. Here, we're going to pass x values, which is continuous data, and here we're going to pass num base, which is making partitions. It can be any variable. It even can be a number as well. Like I'm just commenting that number and just pass 10 here. So it's going to work like same. All right. I'm assuming that you are proficient in programming and you can understand these small things by yourself as well. All right. Just I can do that as well. All right. Okay, coming to scatter plot now. What is scatter plot and when we have to use it? Scatter plot is no different than any other plot. It is just representing dots, but you cannot know the actual relationship uh, so highly. Like you cannot observe linear relationship if data is linear. Like this is very small amount of data, but what if you are having so many data like clusters and huge amount of data? Let me show you cluster again, how a cluster is cluster data is. I have already showed in the first workshop. So cluster in matplotlib, just visualize it. All right. So this is how when we use scatter plot. आपके पास वो गए तहाशा डेटा है और आप इसके अंदर now you cannot even use bar chart here. Now you cannot even use histogram here. You can use histogram as but you cannot know the real attribute of that data. You cannot use that linear plot here because that is not going to help you right now. What you are going to do, you are making it as simple scatter plot. Now how the clusters are having different colors like green, blue, and red. This is by machine learning. Matplotlib will never recognize the different qualities of data or different patterns of data by itself in the cluster. This is where machine learning comes. It gives you different reference and then you replot it again when you get some attribute of data, and then you know that what's the affinity towards the data. Okay. X and Y are having some linear sort of relationship. We make it plt.scatter, which is making scatter plot. We are doing this same thing from our ordinary levels from grade 8 from our basic school life meeting graphs. So this is the same thing. This is just plotting the entire graph. Even when I'm having any sort of online exam, this is a way to think. I just code my graph here and then see if my graph is matching to the same graph. So it tells me that I'm working fine in my exam. All right, just making it blue. Yeah, so this is blue. Now I'll just make this data some massive. All right. Okay, 1, 1, 2, 1, 5, 1, 7, 1, 9, 1, 2. All right. How many minutes have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we are already having 6, because we have to add 5, 34, 56, 11, 2, 3, 11. Alright, let's see what type of sketch pro is going to be made right now. Now, even in this initial scenario, the data was same as linear, but at the end, we just mess around the data and scatter plot just distribute in their cell. So this is why in this when we use scatter plot, if bar chart or bar chart is for a different purpose. If linear plot like have we seen in the very first plotting like this, if linear chart is not helping you around, then you usually visualize large amount of cluster-based data or unsupervised data like this, which is not having any particular labels. Okay, stack plot, which is some kind of difficult thing for many people. I don't know why people got confused in this. All right. A stack plot is a plot that shows the whole data set with easy visualization of how each part makes up the whole. All right, so now understand this. You are having one major column of names. In there, you are having your own names, your family name, or whatever you want. And then you are having three columns. In first column, there is age written. In second column, there is written at what age you got that particular disease. Just assume that. And at third age, you are having that in what age you left your school. In fourth column, there is written at what age you just got married. So this is a weird type of data, but just assume the data. And then when we have to visualize it on the on the very top side reference of Y, you are going to have your names, and on the very bottom reference, you are going to have stacks like out of this person was filled. This person was filled by these things. Like for example, in stack plot, more clear example, but I have mentioned here. I am having years. Assume that I am working in a company XYZ, and within 5 set of years, like 200,000, then 2005, 2010, 2015, and 22. I want to see how much profit I have made out of the revenue. For example, I have a huge revenue going. Like I'm generating. First, I was generating $20, but my profit was $10. But I'm now I'm generating revenue of $1,000, but my profit is still $20. So what is that? It means that I am generating more revenue, but I'm not getting high profit. It means that I have increased operation cost, which I have to reduce it. To understand that scenario or to visualize that scenario, to explore that scenario, we use stack plot. And stack plot by its name itself is just making stacks. So this piece of body is entirely black. It's revenue. You can see we have revenue some certain values according to these years. We have profit certain values according to these years and revenue as well. Then we'll do plot stack plot. In the very first parameter, you have to pass the year, which is x-axis, and then multiple y-axis, which is revenue out of y, like profit, then revenue. If you, okay, I'll tell you one more thing. Then you have to pass colors as well in a list that make it red for this, make it white, black for this, and blue for this, whatsoever, anything else. And then you are just labeling it linear, stack plot, as you can see here. And if I run this, it's going to perform the same. But what will happen if I just make it back and make it profit here? All right. Okay. Now nothing is happening. It's just happening like profit is stacking over the revenue. First, revenue was stacking over the profit. Now profit is stacking over the revenue, but in total both are the same. Like now we are having the revenue, which is entire body. Uh, wait, my mouse. All right, my God. We are having the revenue, which is entire red body, and the above one is our profit. But this is making wrong stack plot. Why wrong stack plot? Profit cannot be more than the revenue. Profit is representing 600. but profit should not be 600. Profit should be like, what is the last value? 130. Profit should be end at 130. So these parameters should be arranged accordingly. So now if I make it back, so now this stack plot is absolutely clear and beautiful as well. So here my profit is 130, so it is ending at 130, no, nothing more. This is the real thing to do, but it doesn't make any difference for companies. They know what type of profit is it, and they never use tech plot as well. They usually use this type of plot, which is bar chart. Bar chart is highly common, and they usually use same plot. They never use tech plot. So if you don't understand it, don't give up. Damn, focus to it. Okay, pie chart. Everyone knows it. I am using hashtag it because everyone used it from the very beginning of the age, from grade 4 or grade 3. You have pizza. You are having 8 slices. Means 8 slices being half of the quarter. In same here, you are dividing 100 percentage into 360 degrees. I'm having multiple interests, like I'm having students. Sorry, I'm having students here, like 1,000 students. This is the quantity of the students. 1,000 students, 1450, 6094, and so on. And then I'm having corresponding interest to their students. There are some students are interested in cross reality development, game development, web development, mobile apps, and AI and data science whatsoever. So, and by the way, this is the real data I saw on the internet. So, okay. Now, what this I'm representing here, this is color, which I'm going to use to as corresponding to the same data. R stands for red, B stands for blue, G stands for green, Y stands for yellow, and M stands for magenta. So PAT.py, you don't need to make any sort of calculations. You just have to write PAT.py and then put students here, which are the values always gonna come in the first instance, because even if I make it like this will work without any beautification. See, this work with its without labels and with its custom color. It's using its custom color, but I'm specifying if I want to specify my own colors, I can just simply by this. So I specified labels. So now it will specify corresponding labels to each partition, and it will specify colors to each partition as well. In list, we have to pass list in this. So in call, we are having list, and in colors, it's going to pass the same. So now it's done. Okay. Now our method is absolutely done, and we don't have to focus more on this visualization. As I already promised, I'll keep all workshops light and normal. But there is one more thing which is left is Seaborn. I'm giving you just a taste of Seaborn. You don't need to learn Seaborn in so advanced right now. It's important when you go for highly at production scale, then you should know C1. Otherwise, there is not. Uh, uh, if you want to learn, you can, but it won't help right now. It's good to learn, but it won't involve in your current machine learning life because you are not having such typical scenarios right now. All right. What is Seaborn? As I already told, it's the same library, but it's the combination of Matplotlib and Pandas. So the maker of Seaborn, the maker of Seaborn, make this because we can make beautiful graphs, beautiful figures in one line of code instead of multiple line of code in Matplotlib. In Matplotlib, we were using multiple line of code to draw the figure, but there are multiple scenarios where we have to write more code than this for customization. But in Seaborn, we don't have to do such type of customization and multiple line of code. Okay. So here is the I have given the link of documentations of both libraries as well. You must have to explore those documentation to try something else and more things. Okay. Before installing Seaborn, it's very essential that you also install these all libraries. If any of the libraries is not installed in your system, Seaborn cannot be installed because, as I already said, Seaborn uses these libraries. to be installed in your system. Okay, if you don't install this, that won't make such a big difference. It's only up to you. This library we will learn later. It's all up to you if you want to install all four or just top three. It won't consume as such storage. Okay, just making it install. It's said requirement already satisfied because it's already installed in my Colab. Colab is the latest view Google has ever given to us. All right. Now, in the same scenario, as we install every library or dependencies-based libraries before installing Cmon, we have to import all those libraries in your environment in your code before installing C1 as well. So, matplotlib was already imported, but it won't make a difference if you import it again. All right. Relationship plot. Okay. Now, what is relationship plot? Now we are moving towards some different sort of plots, which we can make with a bar chart as well, or different chart as well, or histogram as well. But we are making some things different, some different combinations. Now I'm using its built-in real world data by SNS. If you want to see what type of data is it, I have not mentioned here, but you can mention here. Wait. Just go to internet and search SNS means Seaborn Flight Data Set. It will give you a link of GitHub, and here you can easily explore the data. So if you see the data, we are just having few years like 1949 to 1960, I guess. Yeah, we are having just 11 years. And in 11 years, we are having all 12 months. In which 12 months, how many passengers were traveled through a plane? And of course, this is very old data set about 1960, so you are seeing such a low amount of passengers. Right now, there are thousands and thousands and thousands. So, right, okay. So this data, now what we are trying to do, we are just making a relationship plot. And what it does, we have a scale on x-axis because we put it at x-axis. In x-axis, we are passing passengers. What are passengers? Passengers is the column of this dataset flight. As you can see here, passenger is the column of the dataset flight. We are passing this column here, and this column has some numerical value, some continuous numerical value from 0 to 600. But in data, there is the starting beginning from the 100 to more than 600. What it will does, it will draw months because we are drawing months in Y. Now we can say that why we are not using years in there. So it's purely simple because we don't currently need it. We can add CXS and we can use multiple things, but that will make your plot very complicated. So we don't need it. What we are trying to do, we are making 11 plots as we have seen. We have 11 years here, and all 11 years have all 12 months till January to December, then again for 1950, January to December, and for up to till 1960. So for all this data set, we are saying that in all Januaries, how many passengers usually travel. So from 1949 to 1960, we have to make a relationship plot that this amount of passenger has been traveled in January in last 11 years on such particular years. And same goes for every year. So this is a relationship plot we just implemented on that data. Okay, going further to another data. Okay, now I am again using a real world data which is by Seaborn itself. So let's see what is tips data, SNS tips data set, and here you can get easily. It's a CSV file. We will tomorrow we will import data by ourselves. Currently we are using just which is given by the library itself. Okay, so in tips we are having total bill, how much tip they have given, what is the sex of that person, is he was smoker or not, at what day, what was the time, what was size. So it's a very huge data, but just leave it. But here we are doing, we are making a relationship plot of time and tip. Like you can also make this by just simple line chart. We made it very earlier, this line, but just for the customization, we are using C1 for this. And why we are using this? We have passed time in X, which is like lunch to dinner. How much tip usually people get? We have mentioned it is equal to Y is equal to tip, data is equal to B, kind is equal to line. Now, why we are passing data is equal to B here, and I have forget to mention here as well, because you are passing here columns. You are not passing variables here. You are passing columns of that data. So, of what data you have to pass data itself. So here we are passing data, and here we are passing different columns like passenger month, and same for here time and date. So now with just huge amount of data, it was such a huge data. If you see here, you cannot read all data all around 245 and observe and conclude all data in a single time. So now, but just by figuring out that figure, we can see from lunch to dinner, tip has been increased. We have some sort of increment data. Now, what is this box in here? This saying the amount of, this is observing by data set, the relationship plot is automatically observing the data and is saying that how much tip is given according to the, you can say, total amount bill or whatever you say. It's automatically relocating that. So this is two types of relationship plot. One has a one has not such kind, and here we are mentioning kind is equal to line. Okay, that was a relationship plot. Plot is different than a categorical plot. Relationship plot is usually done in continuous form of data. Categorical plot is done usually in categorical form of data. Okay, we are using same data. Data is equal to B is actually representing this data, tips data. Now, what are we saying? We want to say, okay, how how much bills are, how much hotel, how much revenue is hotel generating from particular days, in particular days. Like we are having 4 days in that data set, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and how much bill hotel is generating. So if we just see that figure, we can see on Saturday we are having huge amount of total bills and high number of data as total bill as well. On Friday, we have very few people who came over the restaurant and paid us bill, and then didn't come for high bills because usually parties held on Saturday because Sunday is always the off. So yeah, so we have huge amount of plots in Saturday. Okay, it's 9 p.m. And just two plots are left. Okay. Before moving further, I am going to discuss some different categorical plots, two different categorical plots, and why we use it. But before to understand that, you should understand skew. Yesterday, one person told me that we didn't even know what is skew. So never mind. Skew is simple. When mean is less than median, so it's known as left skew. When mean is equal to median, it's known as no skew. And when mean is greater than median, it's known as right skew. Just by observing the graph, you can know what type of data is it. Like mean is the average of the data. ये ज़्यादातर data किस तरफ झुक रहा है? Median is your center. Median is always the medium of your center, and it's like you are having 10 values, so 5.5. If you are having value 0, 10, then 5.5 is going to be your median. But there's some different sort of definition of median. I'm just giving you some sort of example. So if data is on left side is अगर वो left side में झुका हुआ data, if it's skewed on left side, if mean is smaller than median, then data is going to be known as left skew. If it's balanced both sides, then it means there is no skew. And if it's out balanced to the right side, it means it's right skew. Why we must know skew? If you remember the last workshop, yesterday we learned about outliers. What are outliers? That if any data, if any point in the data set is very out to the other linear relationship. If you are having a particular relationship and then any data is very out, like I must show you on the internet, uh, taking full advantage of it, outliers and images. No, no book, outliers in Matplotlib. Okay, just making graph. Oh no, outliers in data set. Okay, this is the best example you can see here. This is a linear relationship based data. Now we can easily draw a regression in this entire data, in this entire form of data. So, but what is happening here? The outlier is uncertainly out of the data at this point. This point is uncertainly out of that point, and machine learning model can be confused with such point. Now this is just one value, and machine learning model can simply ignore this because this is just one thing. But what if you are having 3 to 4 outliers, or 5 to 6 outliers, or 1% outliers out of the data? So machine learning will try to give some sort of attention towards it, and your accuracy of your model can be disturbed. Yesterday we learned how to deal with those outliers, how to make those outliers balance by using robust scaler. If you remember that, so to visualize the outlier, we usually can just see like this. But if you are having multiple outliers or our data is highly skewed, we can also use violin plot and we can also use box plot. Now, this code, the code of this plotting is entirely simple because it's already Seaborn. We just have to write sns.catplot, same code what we write for this sns.catplot. But what we are mentioning here, we are mentioning here kind is equal to violin. It's like looking like a violin, and that all the information is same. It's same as this. Now this is the data. Don't mix this data with this data. Okay, this graph is representing different information and how many customers come and paid in different days. But this is not representing that same data. This data is generally useful when you are going to implement regression or any machine learning model in here. So violin plot is representing that this data is right skewed much more than this data is left skewed. The bottom shape of that data before the violin is representing left skewed, and the above shape of that violin is representing high skewed. And the measure body of the data is representing the actual data in its limit, in which regression can be properly performed. Rest of the data is not suitable for the regression. It's simple as that. I hope you easily understand this. Violin plot is usually used for just fantasy and nothing else. And if you see box plot, it's same. It's just making that violin circular body in a box, and you can see this data is highly clear. Like the mean of this data is greater than its median, and it suits to all three scenarios. But this has some different scenario. Maybe mean and median is around same, but there are some outliers which is being represented here and here. If you count the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, we are having 4 and 4 outliers and both bottom, and certainly we are having maybe we are having usually certainly we are having an equivalent median and equivalent mean as well. So that is why it is not having smaller blocks out here. Okay, so this is the same thing. Let me run it for you as well. I haven't run it, so it will make the same. Oh my god. All right, so I haven't run it from here. Let me run it. I'm already satisfied. Then this, and then this, and then this. Correct? Yeah. And then this, because it is downloading data from GitHub. SNS is downloading data their side from me. Okay. And now if we run this, it's gonna work fine. Don't worry. As you can see this. Now if we run this program as well, and now if we run this program as well in advance. This is our last plot. Don't worry, we'll end before time at around 9:10. Okay, now we are loading some different things. This is multi-plot grids, and where multi-plot grids is used for. For example, I have given you an example where you are having multiple columns and you have to create multiple bar charts or any type of chart or histogram charts in different figures. Like you are having y column of certain values from 0 to 50, and you are having x columns with different categories, like you are having population, sex, and you are having age, and so many things you can have it in data. Now you have to represent all x-axis in different figures, but in a same figure. In a same figure, you want to have different distributed figures. So this is how we write our code. We are loading dataset in a iris load dataset, and what type of dataset is it? I can show you here. Iris dataset. It's a real world dataset, by the way. So yeah, I think it's going to be hard for me to find this dataset right now. All right, show me the data set. All right, so here we have this type of data set. We are having length, width, and species. Okay, so we are having length and width of sepal. We are having length and width of petal, and we are having multiple species as well. So if we see that there are three unique values, or maybe just two unique values, yeah, we are having three unique values. We can write simply dot unique function as well. Virginica and versicolor, and now we are having Setosa and species. In petal weight, we are having some different sort of values we can already understand using input realization. Okay, I have loaded the data set. I'm now just making a facet width. So this is a syntax, the main syntax. B is equal to SNS dot facet width. We are passing A here. A is what? A is a data set. And now we are mentioning call is equal to species. What is call? Call is the columns. If you see, these figures are distributed in terms like columns. There are multiple columns. We have said कि तमाम डेटा कॉलम में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर दो, so it distribute all data in such specified columns: Setosa, versicolor, and virginica. Now we are comparing sepal length, and we are making histogram. We are currently not mentioning the petal length of here, but we can do it as well. So what we are trying to do, we are writing b.map, which is mapping histogram. We have mentioned here plt.hist. We won't write these parentheses here, otherwise it will make an error, because this parameter is absolutely for function. As you can see here, this parameter is absolutely for function. So it's calling function here, so we are not writing parentheses. We tell it that we have to make a histogram, and on what data, on CFAR length. So it makes three figures. Running it again and making some more. I'm trying to make some more uh, face grid as well. For example, copying this and making it. Sorry. And making another code, and see here, see here, and here I'm changing the okay attribute. All right. So if you see here, it just generated the same histogram for petal length. We are having very different sort of data here. As you can see, it's completely different from this, and from where we are getting petal underscore length, from where we are getting that column. So you can see here we are getting column from here. Sorry, wrong data. Okay, we are getting column from here, petal underscore length. So now our workshop is completely ended. So this is the end of our workshop. I have already given you the GitHub link. If you are not will receive it. So simply navigate to my GitHub. My username is mhuzafa and go to this repository ml020. Go to the folder which is data visualization and then access the Python notebook. So meanwhile, if you are having any sort of questions, so you can ask right away. Doesn't matter if it's coming private to me. I don't know why it's coming private, but I can view it. I just figured it out. I cannot view it real time. I have to open Steam for that or another. All right. Someone said me. It would be good if you speak Urdu. So what I have to do? If I speak English, to some other students are going to be uh, angry on me that you are not speaking English. They are getting rage. So that is why I have maintained English. So I will see that if people are going to understand more happily in English, or I will drop a survey form in all the groups and will ask you if I have to continue all workshops in Urdu or all workshops in English. For me, it's not a problem. I can deliver all lectures in English as well. I can deliver all lectures in Urdu as well. But I saw that there are 70%, more than 600 people there are from South Asia. That is why I maintain in Urdu. But if it's creating problem for many people that if they want lecture English, as I saw earlier, that is why I maintain this lecture in English. But if you want this lecture, अगर आपको ये lecture उर्दू में चाहिए, तो मेरे तो कोई दोनों चीज़ों में बिल्कुल मुझे मुश्किल नहीं है. All right. Okay, is matplotlib only used for graphing purpose of arrays and variable values? Matplotlib is used for plotting any graphical or pictorial representation. If you are having two dimensions or even one dimension, like if you are having continuous data, so you can use matplotlib for representation. Of course, आप single value पे तो ग्राफ प्लॉट नहीं करोगे. आपके पास मल्टीपल वैल्यूज होंगी तो आप ग्राफ प्लॉट करोगे ना. सिंगल सिंगल प्लॉट का आप क्या करोगे? आप प्लॉट करके आपको उससे क्या फायदा होगा? आप क्या एक्सप्लोर करोगे? ऑल राइट. इज देयर एनी प्लॉट जो आपको बिल्कुल समझ ना आया हो? तो मुझे बिल्कुल बता दें. अभी तो मैं आपको दोबारा एक्सप्लेन कर दूंगा. आई एम फ्री राइट नाउ. सो okay, someone asked for Discord link. Okay, let me pull up the Discord. Wait, let me pull up the Discord link. All right, send it by. Wait. Uh, wait. All right. Sometimes teams get so complicated for me because I'm the one who is managing it and I'm the one I'm gonna hire some other person for this. All right. Now let me open Discord for you and pull up the link if you are not currently engaged into that group. Log on. Why you about to that? Right. And the best thing about Discord is you don't need to install any app. You can even work on a browser, but app is app. You app is always beautiful. Okay, here there are multiple people, which are my colleagues and multiple entrepreneurs as well, multiple technical people as well. So in this group, you can access and ask multiple questions recording as well. I'm pulling up the link here. Invite people and don't see this link. This link won't work after for more people. All right, never, no limit. Generate a new name. Okay, copy this link here. I have shared this link multiple times in WhatsApp group as well, and you can copy this link here. This link is case sensitive, and just try to take screenshot right away. Now this Discord is nice. All right. Okay. Any further message? Everything is clear. Thanks. Okay. Thanks. Any good source learn pandas where it's command and how to use those commands are written? Yeah, you can navigate to YouTube There are two very fascinating courses. There are multiple fascinating courses on pandas. Some are by Utica as well, which you can understand easily. So it's very easy, you can understand. But Utica is not having fascinating machine learning uh, uh, tutorials. For machine learning tutorials if you need, so I can share those as well, but not in Utica. But for pandas, you can access Utica on YouTube, and they are very good at pandas, NumPy as well. You are going so fast, man. At 8:13 by Said Hassan. From me, if I say I'm not going so fast, you have to grab these things. You can learn it all time. I cannot wait. This is live event. This is not like a physical workshop. I cannot wait. There we have multiple facilitators, but now we are united by this platform. We have huge distance, but we are united by this platform, and I cannot know which one is having some any sort of problem. And I wait for him. Is there okay? Okay, all data processing techniques I have teach yesterday is very important for all machine learning program, for entire machine learning program. So if you haven't understand also, you can rewatch that video. You can see documentations of cycle done as well to understand it more clearly. Okay, I didn't understand the last part where species are mentioned in code. Okay, okay, I'm gonna tell you. Can you pass dictionary to plot quadrat? Okay. Yeah, you can try it if you can. No, but I don't guess you can. If you can try bar graph, like no, you cannot pass dictionary into bar graph because बार ग्राफ के अंदर आप लिस्ट ही पास कर सकते हैं ना आप अगर आप बार ग्राफ के अंदर डिक्शनरी पास कर देंगे तो एक की के अंदर मल्टीपल वैल्यूज होती हैं अब एक की के अंदर मल्टीपल वैल्यूज हैं तो बार ग्राफ कैसे प्लॉट करेगा उसको अब उसने फॉर एग्जांपल कैटेगोरिकल के अंदर कीज मेंशन कर दी लेकिन दूसरी साइड पर उसको न्यूमेरिकल डेटा चाहिए और डिक्शनरी के अंदर तो कोई ऐसा कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं होता डिक्शनरी तो की के ऊपर डिफरेंट कैटेगोरीज डिफरेंट इंस्टेंट बेस्ड वैल्यूज लेकर आ रहा होता है सो आई थिंक आई हैव मेड अ पॉइंट क्लियर ओके मैं all right please explain skew data once again okay everything is clear okay skew data and okay first I must write this and send in the chat you can access chat by I hope you are going to access my link in your chats. Please navigate to live Q&A in your teams, and I have published my link on Discord to access it. Because actually, I'm not able to send so many emails in the same day. I'm working on it. I will send emails by my cloud platform, cloud portal, within a day or two. So then you won't have any sort of problem. All right, and we'll upload the link on Facebook as well. Navigating back to the species, someone is having problem to understand species. Okay, multi-plot waves. In multi-plot wave, we use species. What is species? In column, the specified species के जितना भी आपका डेटा है, उसको species में divide कर दें, multiple species में divide कर दें. Like in this data, हमने देखा कि यहाँ पे हमारे पास तीन तरह की स्पीशीज थी तो उसने पूरी की पूरी फिगर्स को तीन तरह के स्पीशीज में डिवाइड कर दिया मतलब तीन फिगर्स बना दी अकॉर्डिंग टू दी स्पीशीज पहले हमने डेटा लिया डेटा हमारे पास क्या है ए के अंदर हमारे पास पूरा डेटा लोड हो रहा है हमने वो पूरा का पूरा डेटा फ्रेम यहाँ पे डाल दिया अगर किसी को अभी भी समझ नहीं आ रहा डेटा फ्रेम क्या है क्या चीज़ क्या है तो मुझसे अभी पूछो मैं बता दूंगा नहीं तो आप लोग गूगल भी कर सकते हैं इट्स वेरी इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड इट एंड इन कॉल वी हैव मेंशन स्पीशीज और स्पीशीज क्या मतलब क्या दोबारा बता देता हूँ कि हम इसकी जो फैसिलिटीज डेवलप कर रहे हैं हम डिफरेंट फिगर्स इन अ सेम फिगर डेवलप कर रहे हैं बाय मेंशनिंग इट स्पीशीज अकॉर्डिंग टू स्पीशीज देन वी आर मैपिंग इट कि हमें हिस्टोग्राम बनाना है ठीक है क्योंकि आप कंटिन्यूस वैल्यू है और किस कॉलम पे हिस्टोग्राम बना रहा है तो हमें सिपाल लेंथ हिस्टोग्राम बनाना है। अभी क्या कर रहा है, अगर आप इस डेटा सेट को देखें, हमारे पास यहाँ पे 3 तरह की स्पीशीज थी। आप यूँ समझ लें हमारे पास 3 तरह की कैटेगरीज थी, और हर उन 3 तरह की कैटेगरीज पे किस तरह की सिपाल लेंथ थी वो हम यहाँ पे विजुलाइज कर रहे हैं। स्पेशीज के अंदर, सेटोसा के अंदर कितनी सिपाल लेंथ हैं, कितनी किस्में हैं, कितनी किस्में हैं, तो सब यहाँ पे विजुलाइज हो गई। ऑल राइट, सेम हैपेंस इन बिलो। हमने पहले सिपाल लेंथ की थी, हम अब यहाँ पेटल लेंथ कर रहे हैं, और सेम इज हैपनिंग फिर ऐसे। अच्छा, एक और क्वेश्चन था लेकिन मैं भूल गया। लेट मी सी इट। How can I watch your lectures later? Of course, on YouTube, just navigate to YouTube and just search DSC SSVT and you will find the entire playlist. How can I watch? Okay, how is this session is open for fourth workshop? Not right now. Within 10 minutes, it's gonna going to be uploaded on the web. I just forget to upload it on the web, so don't worry. I'll share in Discord, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp group, and wherever you want, I'll share the links of those. My team will does it. My team will do it. Okay, there is any okay. That has been done. Thank you for this. Okay. Any further questions, please? Okay, please explain skew data once again. Yeah, provide. All right. Oh, man. Okay, coming back to this data. लेफ्ट स्क्यू अब मैं उर्दू में बताता हूँ। लेफ्ट स्क्यू डाटा क्या है, अगर आपका मेन मीडियन से छोटा है या मेन आपका मीडियन से कम है। मीन क्या होता है, आपके तमाम पॉइंट्स का एवरेज, और मीडियन क्या होता है, आपके तमाम डेटा का मिड पॉइंट। अगर आपके तमाम पॉइंट डेटा का एवरेज मीन मीडियन से कम है, मतलब वो लेफ्ट साइड पर डेटा आपको झुका हुआ है, तो उसको बोलते हैं लेफ्ट स्क्यू। अगर आपका डेटा दोनों साइड से बैलेंस है, उसको बोलते हैं नो स्क्यू, या आपका मीन और मीडियन दोनों इक्विवेलेंट है या इक्वल है। अगर आपका डेटा राइट साइड में झुका हुआ है, मतलब आपका मीन मीडियन से बड़ा है। मैं आपको 11 टर्म में बता रहा हूँ, और मैं आपको उस टर्म्स के अंदर बता रहा हूँ कि लाइक जो मैथमेटिकल इंट्यूशन है कि हाउ कैन वी नो कि अगर मीन हमारा मीडियन से बड़ा है तो उसको बोलते हैं राइट स्क्यू। तो इस सिनेरियो को डेटा को स्क्यू कन्वर्जन करने में हम यूजुअली वायलेंट प्लॉट और बॉक्स प्लॉट यूज करते हैं। समवन आल्सो अबाउट दिस प्लॉट एज वेल। तो दिस इज द डाटा। ठीक हो गया, ये हमारा डाटा है। हमारे इस पूरे डाटा के अंदर जो झुकाव है लेफ्ट साइड पे वो कम है, लेकिन राइट साइड पे ज्यादा है। तो ये राइट साइड लंबा खिंचता चला गया और लेफ्ट साइड कम है। मतलब अगर हम एक रिलेशनशिप ड्रॉ करना चाहें तो हमारा रिलेशनशिप इस परफेक्ट सर्कुलर में ड्रॉ हो सकता है, लेकिन हमें इन आउटलायर्स को स्केल करने की जरूरत है जो आउटलायर हमारा। हम जब इन फ्यूचर अभी आगे जाके डिफरेंट वर्कशॉप्स में मशीन लर्निंग के वक्त काम करेंगे, जिन डाटा में हमारे पास आउटलायर्स होगा स्पेसिफिकली इन रिग्रेशन, तो वहां मैं आपको ये दिखाऊंगा कि हाउ टू डील विद दोस आउटलायर्स। तो इस तरह पहले आपको डाटा दिख रहा था और अब उसके बाद डाटा किस तरह तरीके से दिख रहा है पहले भी बता चुका हूँ मैं कल की वर्कशॉप के अंदर। अगर आप उसको भी अंडरस्टैंड कर सकते हैं किस तरह आपने उसको प्री प्रोसेस किया था। करंटली हम उसको प्री प्रोसेस नहीं कर रहे, करंटली वी आर जस्ट विजुअलाइजिंग दिस क्यू डाटा। सेम हैपेंस विद द बॉक्स प्लॉट एज वेल, बस फर्क ये कि पहले आपने एक दुल्हन को लाल कपड़ा पहना दिया, अब आपने दुल्हन को एक नीले कपड़े पहना दिए। विजुअलाइजेशन की डिफरेंस है बस। आप बॉक्स प्लॉट बना दिया आपने। हमारा मेन डेटा ये है, हमारे यहाँ पे दोनों की तरफ 4 आउटलायर्स है, आई नो, बट ये बता रहे इस बॉक्स से मालूम होता है हमको कि हमारा जो मीन है मीडियन छोटे बॉक्स से बड़ा है या कम है। इस छोटे बॉक्स से हमें ये मालूम हो रहा होता है, और इससे हमें सब नंबर ऑफ रीच ऑफ आउटलायर्स, कितना दूर हमारे आउटलायर जा रहे हैं एक पर्टिकुलर रिलेशनशिप से, इससे हमें वो मालूम हो रहा है। तो ये 2 बॉक्सेस आपको बता रहे हैं मैथमेटिकल रिलेशनशिप, और आपको साथ में आउटलायर्स की पहुंच भी मालूम होगी। मल्टीपल प्लॉट गेट में ऑलरेडी समझा चुका हूँ। ओके, अटेंडेंस आर गोइंग टू ड्रॉप राइट नाउ बिकॉज सबको सब समझ में आ गया। ओके ओके, कल हमारी नेक्स्ट वर्कशॉप है लीनियर रिग्रेशन पे, जो कि मशीन लर्निंग की है। अच्छा, एक चीज़ आप यूजुअली सुन लें, अगर कभी भी ऐसा हो कि आप वर्कशॉप अटेंड ना कर पा रहे हो और आप मसरूफ हैं, सो डू मस्ट रजिस्टर फॉर द वर्कशॉप। आप रजिस्टर कर रहे हैं और भले से देयर आर 2 अदर पर्सन एडमिन ऑन द ग्रुप, आप उनको भले से इन्फॉर्म कर दें, सो वी कैन लुक इनटू फॉर यू, बिकॉज इमरजेंसी किसी के साथ भी आ सकती है। सो इन दैट सिनेरियो यू कैन सी दैट इवेंट 5 मिनट में लाइव हो जाएगा। मैं आप लोगों को ये कहूँगा कि आप जाएं, अगर आपको एक एक चीज़ की नोटिफिकेशन चाहिए था जाके हमारे न्यूज़ लेटर को सब्सक्राइब कर लें। तो वो कैसे होगा, bit.ly/SSVT, सिंपल से लिंक है, आप सिंपल यहाँ पे जाएं, ये हमारा एक पेज खुल जाता है। इस पेज पे हमारे पास अपकमिंग इवेंट आ रहे हैं। क्लाउड सीको इवेंट पे अगर कोई मुझसे मिलना चाहता है और कोई क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग पढ़ना चाहता है तो ये इन पर्सन इवेंट अटेक में हो रहा है। आप बाद में इसकी भी डिटेल्स कर सकते हैं। अब ये हमारे पास्ट इवेंट है, आज हमारा ये इवेंट भी हो गया डेटा विजुअलाइजेशन का। जितने भी हमारे इवेंट हुए हैं वो सारे इसमें आ रहे हैं इस साल के। ठीक है ना, मैं यहाँ से आपके पास न्यूज़ लेटर सेंड कर सकता हूँ, लेकिन वो उन्हीं के पास जाएगा जिन्होंने न्यूज़ लेटर सब्सक्राइब किया होगा। ये हमारे कुछ स्पॉन्सर्स हैं और जो इस हर चीज़ को कंटिन्यू करने में मदद कर रहे होते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं यहाँ से चैप्टर लीव कर देता हूँ और मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ चैप्टर ज्वाइन कैसे होता है। आप यहाँ पे गए, ज्वाइन किया आपने, नाउ यू आर मेंबर। आपको उसके लिए फॉर्म भी फिल करने की जरूरत नहीं है, आप मेंबर बन जाएंगे उसके। एंड देन आई कैन सेंड यू न्यूज़ लेटर। और अब मैं अगर ना भी सेंड करूँ, जैसे ही मैं इवेंट पब्लिश करूँगा आपके पास ऑटोमेटिकली न्यूज़ आ जाएगी। ओके, एनी फर्दर क्वेश्चंस? टाइम इज रनिंग सो फास्ट और वीडियो बहुत बड़ी हो गई। I have already explained box environment cloud before. I think that's our message. Dude, I have explained box code environment 3 times. All right, there are multiple messages of Discord, so it means the people are facing difficulties in connecting Discord. So once again on Facebook, I'm going to share my Discord link, and in each event link, I'm also going to share my Discord link now, so you can join Discord whenever you want. And I highly encourage you to join that wonderful community I have built for private reasons and for technical reasons, for business reasons, for entrepreneurship reasons, multiple things. Okay, so no more questions. People are just saying thanks to me. Okay, all right. So, okay. Allah Hafiz. Bye bye.